Welcome to Texas History, Unit 2, Natural Texas and Its People. I'm Coach Rosales, and today we are going to be talking about regions of Texas and the Native Americans of Texas. TEK 7.1, Natural Texas and Its People, characterized by the distribution of various American Indian tribes across the regions of Texas prior to the arrival of the Europeans to the region, including the Karankawa, Quawitecans, Attakappans, Caddos, Wichita, Comanche, Apache, Jamanos, and Tigwa. So the important thing to know is the American Indian tribes across the regions of Texas prior to the arrival of the Americans, the Europeans. There were many ways that the Indians adopted to the climate. American Indian tribes adopted to the climate by building shelters made of local materials, such as using adobe, buffalo hides, or timber. Some American Indian tribes modified the land by engaging in farming and modified the environment by hunting. First, we're going to talk about the Gulf Coast. The Gulf Coast tribes were nomadic hunters and gatherers. The Karankawa lived in the southeast. They used dugout canoes to fish and hunt small animals. Cabeza de Vaca wrote about the Karankawas. The next tribe is the Quawitecans. They lived in South Texas. They ate bugs and small animals. The main thing to know is that the Indian tribes of the Gulf Coast were nomadic. That means that they roamed around with no permanent home. In the southeast, there was sedentary, rich food environment and complex social systems. That means that they did not move around. The Caddo built dome-shaped huts, organized government systems led by a chief, and women played an important role, and many times there were women chiefs in the Caddos. When the Caddos first met the Europeans, they greeted them with the word Tejas, that means friends, so you might need to know that for your test. We also had the Wichita, which hunted buffalo and grew crops, and they were known for tattoos around their eyes known as raccoon eyes. Ooh, scary. On the plains, the Indian tribes were nomadic. They were dependent on the buffalo, and they were very fierce warriors. Comanches used every part of the buffalo. They lived in teepees. They domesticated animals before horses were introduced to the area by the Europeans, so they didn't have horses until the Europeans introduced them. Then there were also the Apache tribe. They used buffalo hides as protection from the harsh landscape. For part of the year, they lived in farming communities along the river and streams called rancherias. Puebloan, these are sedentary, meaning they were farmers. They lived in houses made of adobe. Those are sun-dried bricks. The two tribes we're talking about are the Jamano, which farmed, hunted, traded, and lived in painted adobe homes. There were also the Tigwa, known for beautiful pottery. The most important thing to know is that the Puebloan lived in sedentary homes. That means they had their homes that they didn't move around. They just stayed there. Now moving on to the regions. The first region is mountains and basins. This is a region located in the southwest of Texas with the Rio Grande River marking its southern boundary. That's the boundary to Mexico. And it is characterized by mountains and basins and desert landforms. Climates of hot days, cold nights, hot short summers, cold winters. The region is home to cattle, sheep, and goat ranching, and Big Bend National Park. Next, we have the Great Plains region that stretches across the Texas Panhandle and into West Texas. It is characterized by canyons, escarpments, plains, aquifers, and plateaus. The region experiences hot summers and cold winters. The expanse of distance between waterways meant that irrigation was needed. Ranching, wind farms, oil drilling, and agriculture are common activities in these regions. The North Central Plains stretches from the Red River in the north, that's the border of Oklahoma, And they're rolling prairies. It's in central Texas with few rivers and hot summers and cool winters with a period of cold. The region is home to several military bases, agricultural activities, and manufacturing. The next region is the coastal plains. That stretches from the Red River, that's the border of Oklahoma, in the north through East Texas along the Texas Gulf Coast into the Rio Grande Valley, that's at the southern tip near Mexico down in the south. The region is characterized by many rivers, rolling hills, forests in some places, and plains near the coastline. The region is home to many urban centers. This is the most populated region of Texas. That's really important to know. Next, you're going to need to know about all of these major cities. You're going to have to know all these major cities. So if I give you the map, you're going to have to be able to look at the map and tell me what region the major city is in. Okay? Next one, we also need to know the rivers. You're going to need to know the Red River in the north and the Rio Grande in the south. You would also be able to look at a map and tell me what region the rivers run through. So you got to know your regions. That's pretty important. And lastly, you're going to want to know your natural historical landmarkers, mainly the Big Bend National Park that's way over on the other side of Texas, over in mountain basins. So remember, you got to know the Native American tribes, some characteristics about them, whether they are nomadic or whether they lived in adobe. And you would also want to know the regions, the most populated ones, their characteristics, the cities where they're located, and the rivers. Okay, so if you got that, you're going to be okay. So thank you so much. I'm Coach Rosales. I had a great time. I hope everybody here had a fun time. I just wanted you to be able to see the TEKS, and so we could read over them together. So have a nice day. Bye. I'll see you guys later. Okay, it was nice playing today. Bye.